Welcome to today's episode of Gurbani Reflections. I'm your AI companion, Akar, here to guide you on a journey through the profound teachings of the Guru Granth Sahib.
Welcome back to Gurbani Reflections. Every Wednesday we get together, and dive a little deeper into Sikh wisdom.
Yeah.
And this week is no exception. Today we're going to be looking at the concept of God through the lens of the Guru Granth Sahib.
Right.
And I think this will be interesting, right? Because we've talked about God, in bits and pieces in some of our other deep dives.
Yeah.
But this one is really interesting because it's something that I think a lot of people are really searching for, right?
Yeah.
What is God? Where is God? How do I experience God?
Absolutely.
And the Guru Granth Sahib has a lot to say about that.
It does. And I think what's really interesting about the Guru Granth Sahib's perspective on God is it's not just a theoretical explanation. It's a practical guide to actually experiencing the divine.
Okay, so for many people, God is this distant being up in heaven.
Yeah.
What is the Guru Granth Sahib's take on how we should be thinking about God?
Yeah. So instead of portraying God as this separate entity residing in a distant heaven, Gurbani tells us that God is not an individual, but an experience.
Yeah.
It's about realizing the divine within us and all around us. And the Guru Granth Sahib gives us a very clear map.
Yeah.
It gives us an understanding of God as name,
Right.
as divine virtues, as the very essence of love, compassion, truth.
So it's not so much about a being, but about attributes.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think that's really interesting because it makes it a lot less abstract in a way, right?
Absolutely.
Because if God is love and I experience love or I express love, then in a way I'm experiencing a little bit of God.
Absolutely.
Or if I see compassion in the world,
Exactly.
that's an expression of the divine.
Yeah, and that's where it becomes so practical, so applicable to our daily lives, because it's not about rituals or pilgrimages. It's about embodying those divine virtues in every action and every thought.
Right.
When we cultivate love, compassion, humility, we're not just becoming better people.
Yeah.
We're aligning ourselves with the very essence of the divine.
And there's that quote that I love so much from the Guru Granth Sahib, and it always gives me chills. The realization of God within us is the realization of divine virtues within us.
Right.
And I think that's so powerful because it really highlights that it's an active process.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, if I just, am a good person or I believe the right things, then magically, I'll be fine. It's really about cultivating these qualities within myself.
Precisely. It's not a passive belief.
Yeah.
It's about actively embodying these qualities.
Right.
And that leads us to another really interesting key concept in Gurbani, Kardapurak.
Okay.
The all-encompassing creative force behind everything.
And what's so interesting about that is that the Guru Granth Sahib uses these incredible descriptions of creation.
It does.
Right? Like it talks about how from one source of energy, singularity, everything was created.
Right.
And it talks about how the universe exploded from one source of energy, singularity, with a bang, the swift release of a store of energy, and started to expand. And even centuries ago, they were talking about these concepts that today we're like, oh yeah, the Big Bang,
Right. And isn't that remarkable? I mean, that centuries ago, Gurbani was describing something that sounds so much like the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
Which is really a cornerstone of modern cosmology.
Absolutely.
So it's not just speaking in metaphors, it's tapping into a universal truth
Yeah.
about the origin and nature of existence. And I think it's a really powerful reminder that scientific and spiritual understanding can really complement each other.
Absolutely. And so we have this universal energy that's described in Gurbani. And it's not, again, this distant deity,
No.
but it's this dynamic force that permeates everything.
And it's described as non-judgmental, ever-present, existing within every atom, every being.
So there's nowhere you can go to escape it.
You can't escape.
You're always swimming in it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a radically inclusive concept, really.
Yeah, and it really dismantles this idea of, a God who favors some and shuns others.
Right. Exactly.
Because it's everywhere. It's in everything.
Yeah.
So if God is this all-encompassing energy it's everywhere,
Yeah.
then this whole idea of God residing in some distant heaven kind of falls apart.
Exactly. The Guru Granth Sahib is very clear on this, urging us to shift our focus inward.
Okay.
and outwards to see the divine within ourselves and in the world around us. Because if God is everywhere,
Yeah.
then there's no need for intermediaries, no need for elaborate rituals.
Right. And this is reiterated in the Guru Granth Sahib, right? Where it says, one form extended into everything.
Exactly.
The creator resides within the creation that he created.
Beautiful.
It's such a powerful shift in perspective, right?
It is.
Moving away from separation towards a sense of oneness, of interconnectedness.
Yeah.
Like we're all part of this grand cosmic tapestry.
Yes.
Woven from the same divine thread.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the big question becomes, if God isn't separate, right? If God is this all-encompassing energy, how do we connect with it?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right. And what I find so compelling about the Guru Granth Sahib's answer to this is that it's not about seeking something outside of ourselves.
Right.
It's not about, appeasing a deity or, earning our way into heaven.
Yeah.
It's something far more radical, far more empowering.
It is.
And I love that the Guru Granth Sahib really emphasizes this idea that to connect with the divine, we need to become
God-like ourselves.
God-like ourselves. Now, that might sound a little
right.
heretical to some.
It's a little audacious.
Yeah, a little audacious.
Yeah, and I know that might sound a little unnerving at first.
Right.
But Gurbani is very clear. It's not about claiming supernatural powers.
Right.
It's not about, being able to walk on water or control the elements.
Right.
It's about embodying the very essence of the divine.
Okay, so those virtues.
Yeah.
Those qualities.
Those qualities that we've been discussing.
So it's about really like becoming the best version of myself.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And in that way, reflecting the divine light.
Yes, and recognizing that spark of divinity that's already within us.
Okay.
Right, and fanning it into flame.
Yeah, like a little ember.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think what I really appreciate about Gurbani is that it gives us a framework for how to do this.
It does.
It's not just be a good person.
Right.
It's like, okay, here's how you meditate.
Right.
Here's how you do selfless service.
Right.
And in that way, you are cultivating those qualities within yourself.
You're actively cultivating them. You're not just hoping they'll appear.
Exactly. And it makes me think of all the examples we have, right?
Yes.
Like when we look at Sikh history, we see Guru Nanak.
Yes.
Defying social norms to uplift the downtrodden Bhagat Ravidas, challenging the caste system with his unwavering devotion.
Yeah.
Mai Bhago leading warriors into battle.
Yeah, these are not mythical beings.
Right.
These are people who lived.
They walked the earth.
They walked the earth, and they embodied those virtues in such an extraordinary way that they left a mark on the world, and they show us what it means to live a truly godlike life.
And so in a way, it's almost like instead of thinking about worshiping a god in a temple, we're building that temple within ourselves.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that the truest form of worship is in how we treat each other.
Yeah.
How we live our lives in service to humanity and harmony with creation.
And there's that beautiful quote from the Guru Granth Sahib, Hari Janu Bhagat Das Guruk, should be such that while dealing with the world, he should keep his nature so steadfast that there should be no difference between it and God.
Wow.
And it's like, how do we live in a way...
It's a powerful statement, isn't it?
It is. How do we live in a way that there is literally no difference between us and the divine?
It's a challenge.
It is a challenge.
A beautiful one at that.
Yeah. And so it's not about becoming superhuman.
No.
Right? It's not about like, oh, I've transcended.
No, it's about realizing our true nature as part of this grand interconnected tapestry of existence.
Yes. And so when we realize that, there's a shift that can happen within us.
Profoundly transformative.
Right.
Yes.
Because then it's not about me and my little problems. Oh, we're all in this together.
It's about tapping into that stillness within that connection to something bigger than ourselves, even amidst the chaos of everyday life.
Yeah, it's that sense of peace.
Yes.
Even when everything around me is crazy.
And that's really the heart of Gurbani's message, to discover and embody the divine within ourselves and recognize its presence in all things.
And that's a journey.
It's a journey
that I think a lot of people are on.
It's a journey of self-discovery, of spiritual awakening, and ultimately of realizing our oneness with that universal energy.
And it's a journey that anyone can go on.
Absolutely. That's the beauty of it, right? It doesn't matter what your background is.
Yeah. Doesn't matter what you believe.
Doesn't matter if you're rich or poor.
Any of that.
black or white, man or woman.
Yeah.
It's available to everyone.
So the path is open.
The path is open.
It's like taking that first step
Yeah,
on a long journey.
right, exactly.
And sometimes that first step is just realizing that maybe what we thought we knew about God needs to be re-examined.
Absolutely. Yeah, the Guru Granth Sahib encourages us to question things.
Yeah.
To look at things from different perspectives and sometimes even challenge our own deeply held beliefs.
And it's not about blind faith.
No, not at all. It's about experiencing these truths for ourselves.
Right. Not just taking someone's word for it.
Exactly. It's about cultivating a discerning mind, an open heart, and a willingness to see the divine reflected in everything around us.
Because ultimately, this journey of connecting with God is also a journey of connecting with ourselves.
Yes, absolutely. It's about realizing our truest, most authentic selves.
And that's a journey we can all take together.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up this deep dive on the concept of God, we really encourage you to explore the Guru Granth Sahib for yourself. Dive into its verses, sit with its wisdom.
Yeah, let those words really wash over you.
Yes, and discover what resonates with you personally.
Because everyone's journey is going to be different.
Exactly.
Yeah, so there's no one right answer.
Absolutely not.
It's about finding your own truth.
Yes, and that's the beauty of it, right? Each one of us can have a unique and personal experience with these teachings.
Exactly. So as we go forward, let's keep this conversation going.
Yeah.
If something resonated with you, if you have questions,
Reach out.
share your thoughts, connect with other people who are on this path.
Let's learn and grow together.
Exactly. Because that's what it's all about.
It is.
It's about community. It's about supporting each other
Absolutely.
on this journey of spiritual discovery.
Yes, and remember, the concept of God isn't just some abstract idea.
Right.
It's a way of life.
It's about living a more meaningful, more compassionate.
More fulfilling life.
Yeah. So until next time, may you find peace, wisdom.
And the courage to embrace the divine within you and all around you.
Beautifully said.